Before I begin, I'd like to accept the committee's recommended amendments outlined in the analysis that will push out the bill's deadlines and narrow the required inventory of facilities to instead be a representative assessment based on existing and voluntary reported data. So I thank the committee for their help on that. And SB 395 will require that the California Energy Commission collaborate with various state agencies and education stakeholders to develop a master plan for healthy, sustainable, and climate resilient schools. California students are served by over 1,000 school districts that utilize more than 10,000 school facilities comprising of 125,000 acres of grounds and 730 million square feet of facility space, which produce substantial GHG emissions and contribute to other environmental impacts. While California has some existing programs that have taken piecemeal steps to begin this generational transition to climate-resilient facilities, there's a lack of a unified vision at the state level and a desperate need for a comprehensive roadmap and master plan. A master plan on climate-resilient schools will better position California school districts to leverage the billions of dollars available under the recently passed Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, Inflation Act, to modernize and make school facilities and buses more energy efficient. Testifying in support today, I have Kirk-Ann Taylor, Executive Director of Climate Action Pathways for Schools, Jeff Vincent, the Director of Public Infrastructure Initiatives at the Center for Cities and Schools at UC Berkeley, as well as for technical assistance, if needed, Jonathan Klein with Undaunted K-12. I respectfully ask for your aye vote, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Your two primary witnesses have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Senator Gonzalez, Mr. Chair, and members of the committee. I'm pleased to voice my support for SB 394. I'm Kirk-Ann Taylor, Executive Director of Climate Action Pathways for Schools, a nonprofit organization that's working with school communities to reduce GHG emissions and save money while preparing students for college and their future careers. I'm also a parent, and I'm concerned about the harm to children's academic progress and social-emotional development that is a result from climate-related disruptions to their schooling. So what do we mean by climate-resilient schools? When extreme weather forces local utilities to cut power, schools remain online, powered by renewable energy that is generated and stored on site. When wildfire smoke fouls the air, HVAC systems maintain clean air, providing respite for students and their families. And when students struggle to make sense and find balance in the face of uncertainty, their school communities offer connection, competence, and hope for the future. As an example, Climate Action Pathways for Schools has been in partnership with Porterville Unified School District in Tulare County. Together, we are working with the district to reduce its GHG emissions by 80% by 2030. As a result, we've achieved over 28% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions from the district facilities and produced over $887,000 in energy cost savings for the district. We need to do more to ensure that every district in our state gets on a path like Porterville to carbon neutrality and in alignment with state law that has access to technical assistance to safeguard students' health and learning opportunities. The need for a master plan is great. The CEC is well positioned to lead the planning with capacity already in place from years spent administering Prop 39 and CalShape. And this master plan will, as Senator Gonzalez said, help us align the national, state, and local investments in school infrastructure with the state's goals for decarbonization, environmental justice, and educational equity. It will also create a roadmap for schools to help them benefit from the cost savings that come along with decarbonization while creating healthier communities. Thank you, and I respectfully ask that you vote aye on SB 394.
Thank you. Next witness. 2 minutes.
Thank you, and hello, Senator Gonzalez, Mr. Chair, and members of the committee. I'm Jeff Vincent with the Center for Cities and Schools at UC Berkeley. I've studied issues of school facility infrastructure for 15 years, done so across California and nationally with partners such as the National Council on School Facilities and the National Academy of Sciences. I was one of the lead authors on the 2023 report, A Call to Action, Climate Resilient California Schools, that UC Berkeley researchers did with Stanford University researchers. See, we do collaborate on something. And the report's central recommendation was really around what this bill is focused on, which is that the state of California needs a master plan for climate resilient schools, and specifically one that focuses on the facility infrastructure from equity perspective, energy perspective, and education perspective. And so I'm pleased to see that SB 394 picks up on this, advances this wisdom. Thankfully, what we're seeing is leaders in California are making investments in this area, such as CalShape for HVAC through CEC, the schoolyard greening investments through CAL FIRE and others, but we need to make sure that these are coordinated going forward. on energy, infrastructure, and particularly climate justice. As been said, this infrastructure is really vast. Over 10,000 schools, 730 million square feet of buildings. It's an enormous public built environment infrastructure. And 40% of these schools are over 50 years old. They need upgrades. But an essential challenge is just that many of these school facilities are outmoded and or they're in various states of disrepair. And these are the schools that will not be able to mitigate climate hazards and adapt. And so recent studies, including some of ours, have found real inequities in the conditions of these schools. So those climate injustices will be exacerbated in those facilities that cannot adapt to both energy and climate issues. And many of these districts, unfortunately, do not have robust school facility plans to advance these things. And so this is where state leadership can really have a big impact. And so taking advantage of federal monies that are coming through the Infrastructure Investment Act, Inflation Reduction Act, et cetera. But a statewide master plan will really create a broad vision, position local districts to leverage local, state, and federal money as it's coming forward. So thank you very much.
Thank you. State your name and your organization, please.
Mr. Chair, members, Nancy Chidas Espinosa on behalf of the School Energy Coalition in support.
Norlin Asprick on behalf of Rewiring America in support. Thank you.
Sakira Carter on behalf of Sierra Club California in strong support. Thank you.
Jonathan Klein from Undaunted K-12 in support, also offering a Me Too comment in support from the New Buildings Institute as well as the Climate Ready Schools Coalition.
Matt Leger on behalf of SEIU California in support.
Marion Borgeson with Natural Resources Defense Council in support.
Good morning. My name is Dan Jacobson with Environment California in support.
Ellie Cohen with the Climate Center in support.
All right. Are there witnesses here in 1200 in opposition of this measure? Seeing none, moderator, let's go to our phone lines and see if there's witnesses in support or opposition of SB 394.
And you can get in queue by pressing 1 and then 0. We'll go to the line 17.
Hi, Mary Creasy on behalf of the Children's Partnership in support.
Thank you. We'll go next to line 18.
Tiffany Moss, representing CST, a proud co-sponsor in support.
We'll go next to line 30.
Hi there, Colleen Corrigan from Children Now in support.
We'll go next to line 35.
Good morning. Jillian Rodriguez-Embarki on behalf of 10 Strands in strong support of SB 394.
We'll go next to line 37.
I agree.
Stacey Meinzen with the Climate Center in support of SB 233.
We'll go next to line 41.
Andrea Goyen in strong support as the California Environmental Literacy Initiative Project Director.
We have no further in queue.
Thank you. Now we'll bring it back to the committee. Are there any questions or concerns, Senator Dodd?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman. Senator, I think this is a great bill. I think that, this is a master plan is absolutely incredibly important to really getting an assessment of what we're doing. I guess my only concern with this bill, and I wonder if you've thought about, I'm sure you have, is we keep dumping on the CEC more and more and more and more. And I wonder if we're at risk of just not getting the information on so many fronts that we need. And I'm wondering if there should be some sort of, because, this is going to be something, we're going to get a master plan, then we're going to come back and mandate that all schools do X, Y, and Z. And then it's going to be it's going to be a mandate from the state on schools. And I don't think we need to get ahead of ourselves that far, but I guess I'm just wondering, is there a better place where we could get something like this done more efficiently and more in tune with the schools? I don't know if it's with the State Board of Education, if they would hire on staff. I mean, obviously that's going to be a budget item, but budget aside, I'll just ask that question. Sorry I went on so long on that.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you, through the chair. I appreciate the question. So the CEC currently has conducted about 4 or 5 programs already. As mentioned, so Prop 39, Cal Shape, which was an Assemblymember Ting bill, where plumbing and ventilation dollars were provided and expended. So they already have an inventory from many of these programs. So it seemed a little easier, but I understand your concern because we have legislated a lot around providing CEC with authority to be able to help us. But I also think like the Department of Energy has billions of dollars right now through the Biden administration to expend that also offers a bit of guidance. So I think if anything, this is the bill to actually provide to the CEC. They already have the inventory. They're already doing the work. Let's fill the gaps. And then they'll also work with stakeholders in various agencies, with CARB, with Department of Education. So there will be a state agency coalition. And then on top of that, a diverse stakeholder engagement as well with our local communities and the trade unions, et cetera.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
it.
Senator Becker.
Yeah, I just want to say I think this is an important bill because it was like a win-win-win: health for students and teachers, climate benefits, and then also the workforce and job aspects of this. And I just also want to say, during the pandemic, I had some roundtables with the Teachers Association, and feels like if we're creating filtering for wildfire smoke, and also a reminder that Central Valley has some of the worst air quality in the country, so it'll also be helpful there generally. That also, if there's for any future pandemics that might occur, it's also going to help make the schools safer again for both for students and teachers, and just for general general health on a day-to-day basis for spreading of colds and other things and flus. So I'd like to be considered as a co-author if that's okay.
Love to have you.
Great. Senator Daly.
Thank you. I'm going to be supporting your bill today, but I wanted to just maybe bring to your attention, because I know that you and I came in together in the class of 2019 into the Senate. Yes. But Senator Skinner, under Prop 39, did a piece of legislation. I don't remember the number, but we actually worked on negotiating for the money that came in from Prop 30. I think it was it Prop 39? Yeah.
Yes.
So that to do retrofitting to help bring schools in compliance with the money that was generated by the out-of-state taxes that came in. And so I don't know who monitored that, but there's been some work done in this area, and I would encourage you to maybe look at that as a form of a pilot to get information on how we were able to do implementing the projects. I know there were some difficulties. Senator Skinner and I just had a conversation a second ago about, who owned the buildings and some of those leased out buildings. Anyway, just for information, I will be supporting your bill today, but I think we have some work done in this area already that may be helpful for your legislation.
Yes, absolutely. And I thank you both for that work. Our coalition partners at Undaunted K-12 have been very, very, very active on Prop 39 oversight, and also Cal Shape, and looking at all of the different programs administered currently by the CEC that seem to be piecemealed. So that's a great addition. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Senator Rubio.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Well, there's some numbers that caught my attention right now, which is that 40% of schools are over 50 years old. I mean, as a classroom teacher for 17 years, there's been situations where we don't even have regular structures. We still have bungalows, and, in high extreme weather, sometimes the air conditionings would go out and we'd have to go outside to try and teach. There's just so many situations. So I think my comprehensive approach to really analyzing what our students are dealing with, our teachers are dealing with, I think it's time. And I think this is a really important step to move those efforts forward to ensuring that these old classrooms and bungalows and everything that's not healthy for our kids, that we take a good look at it. And I also want to join as a co-author. I think it's an important step. So thank you for these efforts.
Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Skinner?
Thank you. I'll move the bill. I don't believe Ms. Rubio moved it, but I'll move it. And Senator Dolly's correct. We did direct most of the funds from 29 to efficiency upgrades and improvements in our schools. But we certainly, and we did a lot, but we didn't, we never, in other words, there wasn't enough to do the works needed in every single school. And of course, since then, we've learned a lot more about the need, for example, for good ventilation. It wasn't that was unknown, but you want to design your resiliency, obviously to respond if we have another pandemic. And then our bigger threat now with heat, extreme heat days, and how we can address those buildings without necessarily increasing their energy demand load. So I think this is really important work to do. And fortunately, there's a lot of expertise in the Energy Commission because it was the Energy Commission that oversaw all of the implementation of that Prop 29 work. So with that, I'm happy to support the bill and move it.
Thank you. Any additional comments or questions by members? Seeing none. Would you like to close?
Yeah, I just respectfully ask for the aye vote. We have great coalition partners, and I think in addition, this is a great bill for both the environment and for our friends in labor. So with that, respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Okay, we have a motion by Senator Skinner. We have a due pass to be amended in the Committee on Education, and I'll just state those amendments. Extend the bill's deadlines for the start of stakeholder meetings and completion of master plan to March 24 and March 25, 2025, I should say. Respectfully, delete the requirement that the CEC establish an inventory of K-12 buildings and instead require representatives' assessments based on existing data and voluntary reported data and make other technical and conforming changes. Is that correct? All right. So, consultant, please call the roll on SB 394.
Bradford. Bradford, I. Daly. Daly, I. Ashby. Ashby, I. Becker. Becker, I. Caballero. Caballero, I. Dodd. Dodd, I. Durazo. Eggman. Eggman, I. Gonzalez. Gonzalez, I. Grove. McGuire. McGuire, I. Min. Min, I. Newman. Newman, I. Rubio. Rubio, I. Ciarto. Ciarto, I. Skinner. Skinner, I. Stern. Wilk. 14.
Measure has 14 votes. We'll leave a roll open for absent members to add on. And I believe Senator Gonzalez is going to present now 6:05 for Senator Padilla.